County Board of Education call meeting to order. In front of you is what we're meeting on tonight. Mr. Boyd, do you have anything you want to add to what we're here?
No, I mean, everyone should have, shared the bid sheets with all the information, and then Monday night, or last night, Monday night, the committee met, the county's ARPA committee, and their discussion was about accessing those funds to close the gap on, and then what exactly would they be proposing to do, and what they proposed and voted on for additional funds, I think of 2.1 million out of the ARPA funds, was on the front page. It's the section where it says revised bid with alternates 1 through 4 plus VE options plus add for synthetic turf infields at baseball and softball fields 2, 3, 4, and 5 in the amount of $4,978,250,000. And then they also added an additional amount because there would be a balance due for architectural fees, and that would bring that total to about almost 5.2 million. That's what they addressed. Just to revisit, the alternates included are all deducts of the project, which alternate 1 is removing the lighting for the baseball and softball fields. Number 2 is the building B, which I understand that one to be was going to be a storage building that would have been in that I guess that's the northwest corner of the property. And then the walking track, remove that, and then finally deduct for building C, which was going to be the pavilion that was going to be near the football field. So, but it did include the baseball fields, 2 baseball, 2 softball, all of the things that go along with the field. My understanding was the concrete and the fencing, and then also with the turf. Just the only thing is those fields would not be lighted based on what they're recommending and what they have identified funds for. And of course, that includes the $1 million that has already been, I guess, identified through our educational capital funds, plus I believe it was 2.1 million they already had on hand, and then plus the additional 2.1 from the ARPA dollars would put it at about 5.2 million.
So what are you talking about? What dollars?
The ARPA, the American Recovery, federal dollars that the county government has access to.
So the county has that.
That's the county.
It's not ours.
No, it's Washington County, but it's through the county government.
The total was what, 5.1 of that?
Yeah, it was, if I'm adding correctly, the 4.978, 250,000 plus the 174,495 for architectural fees comes to an amount of 5,152,747 total cost, and then that would be the total cost, and they already had 3.1 million available on hand, and then the ARPA dollars that they voted at the committee yesterday added 2.1 million, so 5.2 million.
Mr. Riddle?
I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to make the following motion concerned with the Boone Street athletic facilities. I make the motion that we do 4 ball fields, 2 baseball, 2 softball, all infields to be artificial turf, all fields to have dugouts which would need to be covered per, TMA, TMSA standards, all fencing, concessions, restrooms, stands, lighting, and concrete to be provided.
Do we have a motion? We have a second.
Second.
Discussion?
Wow. Okay, so I'm a little overwhelmed with the fact that we have a middle school that we want to put turf on. As a board, we have really watched our money to be able to do things for the high school, and this is out of our plan. There's a difference between need and wants, and we as a board and for that school, we need a baseball field, a softball field, a football field with a track, and we need lighting. And I mean, we've already seen we can't play without lighting. So if they take away the lighting, there's no need for the fields because we can't play there. So I just have a problem with the artificial turf. That's not a need, that's a want. And I understand that would be great, but again, this is not our property. This doesn't belong to us. And putting money into property that doesn't belong to us is not our business.
Well, the $1 million has already been allocated.
No, I
So they
know.
already, have that to apply to the project. So there's no additional money, but
But that wasn't our money to begin with. I mean, that didn't come out of our budget. So they can do what they want to with that money. That's still not our,
right.
that's not our money. That's their
Capital
money.
project's money.
It is, but.
It's not their money and it's not our money, it's the,
But the,
Okay, first meeting,
com-
to decide for.
but the commission can use it any how they want to use
no,
it.
they
Well,
can't.
they did.
No, they can't.
Well,
They would have to have our permission to use it.
well, I'm just not comfortable with putting turf at the elementary school. If we do it one place, we're gonna have to do it the rest, and we don't have that money. And we've been very frugal, and we've been very intentional about wanting to get our high schools done. And I think if you start this, it just snowballs.
I don't want to put turf and stuff down either. I mean, it's, to be honest about it, if you can't, we've sowed grass at ball fields for a long time. And we have put sod down too. But we took care of it and our maintenance, our groundskeeping people has took care of the ball fields. You know, I'd rather see lights put on it than I would turf.
The motion includes lights.
Mhm.
Well, I think you said it was 5.1, and that has got their 2 million that they, or 3 million that they got, plus the million that we got, or we give them.
Yeah, they had two, we added one, so it's
Okay,
got
so
a
that's 3.1.
3.1. Yes, sir.
And now they're getting
This-
ARPA money to put
To put the balance in.
the balance.
So, and I do not understand why we are having to deal with this when it's not our property.
The request by the commission was, this is what they're going to do. They wanted the board to basically have an opportunity to say that they agree with it. And, but what I'm understanding is, I mean, assuming it's approved by the full commission, this is what they're going to do.
They asked us to have a meeting prior to the budget committee, which is Thursday, best of my memory.
Right.
So what's us agreeing to this gonna do for us?
Well, what I think, when I asked the question and wanted to clarify, I think, there's just been a history of when a decision's made and one body doesn't agree, and then they say, well, we would have done it this way. I think they're just trying to get, I guess, assurances that the decision's gonna be made and this is what we're gonna do.
Well,
And they want the support of the board
I
as far
guess-
as this is what we're gonna do.
I guess what I'm asking is if, for some reason, we don't approve it, they can still
They can
move
still get it.
forward and do it
Right.
anyway.
Right.
Yes, sir, of course.
So they're just, this is kind of a nice way of saying, hey, we'd love for y'all to meet and agree and let's
They
go
asked us
forward.
to meet to discuss.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just trying
Just trying to
to
understand.
being good partners, and the request was, in the event there was changes that might need to be made and additional dollars that might be available, that it would be done before the budget committee meeting Thursday, so then there could be adjustments made.
Mr. Riddle, would you care to go down the list again of what your motion was and tell me what?
So basically, this is what we had sent to them a while back in an agreement when we agreed to partner for $1 million on this project.
Okay.
And it was sent to them as like an interlocal agreement. So we'll do 4 ball fields, 2 baseball, 2 softball, artificial turf on all 4 fields on the infields. All dugouts to be provided and covered as per TMSA regulations. All fencing provided and installed. They're to provide and install concessions, restrooms, stands, lighting, and all concrete.
And Vince, we had said that to them back when they asked us for the $1 million. This is what was proposed in that.
Does it cost us any more money?
That's my question.
If we take things off that list, we're still paying $1 million.
Okay, so that's already allocated, no matter whether we agree, disagree, change things, it's still going.
They're
As
they're
far as the $1
asking
million.
us for our preferences, is basically what they said.
Gotcha.
We want completed projects.
Right.
So, yes, sir.
You're adding, or you're including lighting, which
Yes.
has been deducted up on the top here.
Correct.
What are you taking away to pay for the 685?
We're not.
We're not,
We're putting $1 million of our money in the project, and these are the things that are important that we'd like to see done.
Okay, so we're sending it back to them saying, now we want you to pay for the lighting.
Originally, we weren't to pay for any of it.
right.
Right?
So we're partnering with them $1 million to see the project done for the community and the kids.
So if they don't have the votes to pass that, then we'll have a field without lighting.
That's in their ballpark now.
Okay.
We're just handing it over to them.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure we were not.
And I'm just asking, like I said, this
Yeah.
proposal and everything went before me and Mr. Huddlestone had come on. So I'm just trying to learn as we go,
Sure.
so apologize for all the questions.
No.
But what keeps Lamar from coming next week and asking for all this?
Well, it's, number one, it's not our facility.
Right.
You know, it's intended to be county facility other than Board of Education. So I guess the separator is it's not the Board of Education's facility.
So who owns Boone's Creek in that land?
We own the school.
We own the school.
School.
County owns the property.
They separated it, share with John, keep from sharing with Johnson City.
And I think we proposed to lease it back for them for $1 a year or $10 something. I forget what the figure was, as a lease back.
And then we would manage the property.
Right, and we'd keep it up.
Thank you.
And the other piece of that, you know, that was brought up again last night, but at least one commissioner said, you know, we need to focus on getting the funding first, and then we can talk about any agreement once we move forward with the construction of this project. So we don't even have a confirmed, finalized project yet. And then we can talk about the agreement between the board and the county as far as management or use of the future uses of the facilities. They know that it'll be used by the schools, but all the details about who would take care of it have not been finalized.
Well, Jerry, it's supposed to have been finalized whenever it was split, because that's coming with the $450,000 a year that their county is supposed to pay the town of Jonesburg to maintain
If
Boone's Creek and Jonesburg.
If I understood Mr. Wheeler yesterday in his review of the agreement, he did not see the language of that.
Well, he said the same thing downstairs, Keith, remember, when we met?
Have you talked to our attorney?
He also said we were paying for the entire property and Jonesboro was getting their part. And we were paying for the whole entire property. And it wouldn't be long
When
ago.
now, you know, the Jonesboro School, that's one thing, but when it bled into Boone's Creek Athletic Facility and Fields, that's, I think, what Mr. Wheeler's point
Hadn't
is.
started yet, because Jonesboro's not.
No.
Is what I've understood. But anyway, you know, the point of, that was emphasized last night, they identified funds to complete the project is what they had identified, and then the request, and I asked them just to be sure, what is the expectation of the board, outcome of the board's meeting, and, you know, I guess I was told, and this may not be the exact wording, was they just wanted to know that the board was supportive of it. That's basically what was said yesterday.
Okay, anything else?
Question. Do we have any other instances at any of our other schools where we don't own the property that the sports fields are on?
South Central. We pay $2,000 a year, don't we,
Yeah,
down there for the
something like that.
The
routine?
routine fields
Routine,
and some in-kind
We keep,
maintenance.
best memory, we keep it mowed and they keep during the season.
during the season.
Okay, second question, when the former board bought the land that Boones Creek is on now, is there a reason why that land now the city has wasn't bought?
It's not the city.
No.
It's the county.
Or the county?
County body.
I mean, the county.
17 acres is what the school's built on, and they divided the money with the city, or so much money with the city. The other part, for the ball fields and stuff, is supposed to be, it was supposed to be
County owned.
county parks and rec.
Mhm.
It's what they started it out to be, and now it's, I don't know what it is.
Well, when we get these things built, is the school gonna be in control of these ball fields?
That's yet to be determined. We will have, it's certainly
We're
a
supposed-
clear understanding that we will have access to those fields, our teams.
And if it's like
Programs.
Ridgeview, we have first,
I just
during
want
the
to
season.
make sure the kids are gonna get to enjoy it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something that's been pretty clear and consistent, is that access to the students in Boones Creek Elementary School and the programs would certainly be a priority.
All right, y'all ready to vote? Jennifer, you want to read the motion one more time, please, or Whitney, whichever one. Should tell us. We did electronically?
Yeah, but
No, I
I
didn't
don't know
sign
that
up.
everybody signed in.
Okay,
No.
is everybody signed in?
I'll do voice.
In the meantime, it's 4 ball fields, 2 softball, 2 baseball. All 4 of the infields will be artificial turf. The dugouts, and they will be based on TMSA regulations, concessions, restrooms, all concrete, lighting, stands, and fencing.
That was seconded by Mr. Flynn.
Y'all ready?
Everybody on? Vince, you on? Yes.
Voting's open. Mr. Huddlestone, how do you vote?
Yes.
I ain't got nothing yet.
How did my name get to be first all of a sudden?
That's just.
It's not alphabetical order.
Because you
That's
voice
just how it
voted.
falls.
No, I mean, in all the voice votes, I've been first so far.
You're special.
Uh-huh.
I used to be one of the first.
Yeah, well,
I
you
got
used to be
moved down the
first.
line, so You're the new guy.
It's approved with 2 noes.
All right, meeting adjourned. Mr. Flynn?
Would it be appropriate to say we'd rather have the lighting versus the turf? Or just leave it go?
I think we will let it go. All right,
No objections.
meeting adjourned. And if you haven't registered for fall conference, please do so for Jennifer, please.
I think I've got everybody now.